Hey everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun, host of Vancouver Island Time. I'm here by myself this morning because Andrew had stepped away for a few moments. Today we're going to be talking. Hello.
Hey everybody.
How you doing?
I'm getting water.
We were just having a good laugh about real estate and how it's 24/7 and crazy.
Yeah, Jane said she took the day off yesterday, didn't pick up her phone, and then she was like, well, only in the afternoon. Well, yeah.
I showed 4 properties in the morning. It was an exploratory thing. You
so
know,
that was your day off.
Well, yeah, it wasn't stressful. I mean, I don't find hanging around people stressful, but yeah, I would say. Do you?
Actually, sometimes, but most of the time, great clients, great people, great friends. No, but it can be. It really depends on. It can be stressful, but no, things like going out with people to explore properties when that's what you like doing. I do like doing that too. That can be great. When it's a beautiful sunny day and you've got friends saying, let's go play tennis or let's go paddle boarding or what have you, and somebody else wants to go explore properties, there's a bit of a pull. Like, an active client looking to purchase is generally priority. But if someone's just sort of exploring the waters, there is definitely a personal pull there.
Yeah, I agree. And I found it a lot more when my kids were little. Actually, because they were, because it would always be like I would be taking care of my children and I'd have to go and either take them with me or one time, actually, funny story. So I'm doing a show. I'm doing a showing. And we go into the kitchen and there are these bar stools. So I say to my kids, okay, sit on the bar stool and
don't touch anything.
We're going to go and do the tour. And I come down and they're like, woo, going around.
Spinning, sure.
Get into the car. So take them into the car. I have the roof open. I lock the car. I have the keys. They were like 4 and 6.
So did they climb out the roof?
I come back out and they're standing on the seats. Woo! I said to my husband, that is the last time.
Children of realtors. We've all, it's funny because, a lot of realtors are single parents or, their partners are working and the children are young and they may not be in school. May not be in some sort of care. So sometimes something comes up and you need to bring them with you. And I've had that happen. And if, some clients are great with it and other clients and people will say, oh, that's very unprofessional. And I mean, it is and it isn't. It's not necessarily professional from one perspective, but this is life. And when we as agents our whole life is dedicated around helping our clients at any moment, then we need to have some flexibility with our clients to understand, hey, you know what? This person does have a life and they're doing their best to manage and get us good service, the best service they can give.
Well, many people used to ask me, maybe we should change the topic for today. Maybe it should be about the balance of life as a realtor. Let's talk about that.
But we've got like 300 people logged in to see what we are talking about. Yes, life of a realtor. That's a good one. Let's talk about that. Sure.
Okay. Well, I will say a lot of people say to me, Jane, how did you manage to be successful in real estate and have kids? And I would say there is no balance. There's no such thing as balance, I don't think, really. It's just a question of priorities and what you're doing when. And so I do work a lot. And, my husband would probably say I probably work too much. But my kids would say I was always there for every field trip. I was there for every excursion. We went to a special trip to Vancouver. I went with that, but I wasn't there on the weekends for things like all the sports and stuff. That was when it was hard for me. During the week, I could balance it and schedule people if I knew what was happening around. Like I'd schedule around this every Monday morning because I know what's going to happen.
I think we are able to schedule things in small bites. Like our Monday mornings tend to be sacrosanct. Every once in a while, you or I go away on a weekend or something, and we get somebody else to cover for these Monday mornings. But generally speaking, that's easy enough to do. Or we have our sales meetings on a Tuesday morning at 9:30. But today is the day, and sometimes we need to be flexible on that. But when a client says, "Hey, I want to write an offer on this property," hey, the property just came up, I want to see it. Hey, I'm interviewing 3 agents and you're one of them, and come on out. These are things that sometimes come to us out of the blue, and we're not like just working 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, going into work and knowing what we're doing that day. So every day is a new day, and it's hard. Yes, juggling personal life. Like I saw was it you that posted it? The meme. Yeah, there was a meme on one of our Facebook groups, and I'd seen it. It's like, have you dated or been married to a real estate professional? You made them entitled to compensation.
It wasn't me. That's funny.
Yeah, because the person who you are, these people who are your loved ones, do have to share you with this real estate life.
Yeah. And it's kind of like when you read, book about or stories about failed marriages, and it's because the partner gets almost jealous of you not paying attention to them, which is understandable because the phone will ring in the middle. What it is if you have a fear of losing out or scarcity mentality, then when the phone rings, you'll always answer it. Actually, my phone's rang twice during this talk and I haven't answered it. So, but when I first got into real estate, I wouldn't do that.
I had a conversation when I first got into real estate with an established agent, and I was at a party. It was a Friday night, and I had, I think I had a pager back in the day, of all things. But what I did was, I was talking to her at this party, and we were, I was saying, I'm having a hard time, like turning off, like letting go. I don't want to have a drink or two on a Friday night in case my phone rings. If the pager buzzes, I want to be able to get back to it if there's an offer coming in on my property or have you. And she says, you've got to live your life. You still have to live your life. And so this is, I don't know, the life of
their piece of advice.
Really just to live your life. Like she was better at turning off her phone. You talk about the scarcity piece, and when you're a new agent, you tend to feel like every phone call could be that next paycheck. And when you're living paycheck to paycheck and trying to build a business, you're much more reactive in that sense. And it's funny because as a new agent, you feel like your value is being available all the time. And as an experienced agent, that's still part of the value, but our availability doesn't have to be all the time to be really, really effective. It's less about availability, I think, and more about effectiveness.
Well, when you're a new agent, you have time. And some people like to work with new agents because they can bully them. Like I remember being bullied by clients and they're like, I want to see this, I want to see this. When you're an experienced agent, you have more wisdom and you start to begin to ask more effective questions. And you're more targeted in your effort, and you're just wiser in how you're dealing with your clients, and so you have a better orientation meeting.
Yeah, I think it's the orientation meeting, and it's how you hold yourself. And when I was a new agent, in terms of, I never thought of it. Well, I mean, you could think of it as bullying, and it can be. There are people out there like that, but it's also about communication with your clients and having them understand and respect that there are other elements to your life and that you're giving them your all, and that there are certain priorities and times when they will want me to give them more priority, and other times when they need to understand that what they're asking for is not urgent. because I'm giving my urgency to someone who is at an urgent stage. And when their time is urgent, they'll get my time as well. So having that talk around, when we're just, as you said, we were chatting earlier, and you said, you were out on Sunday with some folks who were prowling. They were just testing the waters, getting to know the marketplace, perhaps. These are people who will benefit from that. And I love doing that, is helping educate people into what is out there in the marketplace, but we're not actively hunting. So we don't have to jump and make appointments at the last minute and change our plans just to go and show 4 properties. You can set it up long in advance. You can,
Yeah, they're house viewing, not house hunting. And they're like on a scale of A, B, or C. A being like, we're buying right now, we're doing one-offs right now, and like I had clients like that on Saturday. So they're like, we want to come to town, we want to see properties. I'm like, okay, set it up, write the offer, let's go. We got an accepted offer. And then Sunday, they're like probably B clients, so they're probably 3 to 6 months out. They're just doing research. Same thing. It was very casual, asking a lot of questions. I mean, the difference is the questions that I ask people when we're going around to see a property. If I know that they're ready to buy, I'm like, okay, well, just remember, if you like this property, do you want these cabinets in this? Do you want all the this? And so that, without even thinking about it, they're being primed for an offer. They're thinking about the offer as we're going through. And I don't even think about, I just know that that's their mindset. But so the people who I was showing on Sunday, it's more like, do you like the area?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Do you want to, the fact that it doesn't have a balcony, is that an issue for you? And they decided yes. So we're only looking at places with balconies. Like, that's a big thing.
Lifestyle of the real estate agent is all about asking questions. Asking questions that orient the people that we're working with towards thinking about those things that will help them to be successful. And so it's, when you first start out, the questions are really broad, and they just get more and more narrow and defined as we get closer and closer to them finding what they're looking for. I like to tell people that they need vision and money. And darn it, I've forgotten the third. It's part of a presentation I do. Vision, money, and well, anyway, the point is, how could I forget the most important piece? Experience, vision, money, and experience. So they will gain experience by working with an experienced person. They will also rely on the experience of that person they're working with. That's a given. As long as they have trust in that experience, they're going to be able to work well. Money, we connect them up with somebody for financing, or we make sure that they've got their ducks in a row that way. This is all part of the work that we do right off the bat in terms of, again, lifestyle. One of the things that we end up doing is tail wagging the dog if we don't ask these questions and get these things clarified right off the bat. So our lifestyle can either be very, very fun, exciting, really rewarding, working with wonderful people, or we can be just, pulling our hair out because we're so busy because we haven't asked those questions. But yeah, so experience comes in, money comes in, vision is something that we as agents can't provide. And that's the thing where those questions come in. Well, that's
where we ask them the questions.
Yes.
Then we clarify the vision, because sometimes people say, what their vision is, and then as you're going around the property, you're like, here's what you said is your vision, but here's what I'm hearing is your vision. Is this where you want to go?
Yes, exactly. What do you mean you've fallen in love with this house? When we first started working together, you said you wanted, this, and this. Now, I'm fine to write this offer, but like, how does this match up with what your end result, the goal is? And also, working with couples or families, other family members, are the visions aligned? So we are always asking. Part of the lifestyle of a real estate agent is asking a lot of questions and really helping people. It's counseling, and it's helping people to understand and clarify for themselves, articulate for themselves, deeply understand.
One of my very first buyers that I was working with, was funny. She's like, I want a character home. I want to live on this street in Fairfield, and
Yeah.
I want a kitchen in the middle of the house. And it's funny how you remember the conversation exactly. And then one Friday night we're going out and we're in this contemporary zebra design home. And
Yeah.
I turned her and I'm like, why are we here? She's like,
Right.
I was just curious.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I get it. But the thing is, the seller gets all excited when you want to show the home. So we really do have to be careful about showing properties to ones that you are very interested in. There's Ginger. Hi, Ginger.
I see Ginger. Yeah. Hi, Ginger.
Rather than just going looking willy-nilly. And I think actually that's one of the benefits of COVID is being that it's allowed people to really focus and allowed agents to say, listen, you need to focus because, for us to go in right now, it's onerous on the seller.
Everybody is at higher risk, so we need to make sure that we mitigate that risk and that we respect the fact that people's homes are sacrosanct, and we need to be careful about going into those homes with and putting people at risk. Yeah. So, working hours of a realtor.
So my hours now, my phone goes off at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And it comes on at 7. But if I'm in a conversation with people, I'm definitely I'll be monitoring my chat.
Right.
But I don't get notifications. What about you?
So my posted hours, I when I'm sitting with new buyers and sellers, and I have in my presentation, I have a presentation that I just sort of run through, which is not necessarily a sales piece so much as a Q&A, FAQ, orientation kind of piece, right?
Yeah.
A lot of letters. And one of the things I say is, I work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, plus evenings, plus weekends.
I work all the time.
So, I work when other people aren't working. These are my availabilities, right? I had a friend / client contact me yesterday. Actually, started texting me at 7:30 in the morning, and this is a Sunday morning, and I was hoping to sleep in. So the phone's beside my bed, it's buzzing. Okay. So it was funny because, everybody's got a different sense of what your phone does and when it's turned off, but I'll get texts sometimes at 7:30 in the morning. I'll get texts sometimes at 11:30 at night. Hey, we kind of want to see these properties tomorrow. Just waking up to this. So, but I do leave the phone available and on because there are things that come up out of the blue. And I do work all of those hours. Am I working all the time? No. We were just, again, before the show, I was saying, Jane, my perception of what you do, because I see you on social media and such, is that, it seems to me like you're always working. And as you said, and you retorted that, well, you didn't work yesterday. And you said, well, I was out showing properties yesterday morning and I had my phone. You said literally, I didn't pick up my phone at all yesterday. And then you were like, well,
from 2 o'clock on.
And that epitomizes the life of a realtor.
But the thing is, though, I've learned
we're working when we are working.
I've learned to, especially when I'm working with people from back east, because sometimes they don't realize we're 3 hours behind.
Yeah.
That I definitely put the phone on mute from 10 to 7. And I used to do 10 to 6, but I row in the morning. And I actually don't now start checking messages till around 8:30 when I'm rowing, 8:30 to 9. And I realized, like, when people
check messages while you're rowing.
no,
Okay.
After.
Okay.
But the what it made me realize is somebody said, well, when do you take holidays? Because I really haven't taken a holiday in 2 years. Like, I've worked every single day. And I say, well, I don't take a holiday per se. What I do is I take time during the day. So I'll read on this is my little couch right here. And Carol Riera is saying the same thing. I take time during the day. I sit on my couch. I look at my view over there, and I just kind of go, for a couple hours because I think you just kind of it's too busy. You can't sustain it over time.
No, you can't always be running a marathon or a sprint. And
what I'm finding right now is there's a bit of buyer fatigue happening, but I think there's also realtor fatigue happening after being such a long run, so busy. So we're coming up on 2 years, and you know, I've been looking, all my Facebook things are coming up, my reminders of my trip to back east, my last time I visited my parents, and it's like, wow, I saved a lot of money, which is why we're doing a renovation right now. Saved $30,000 by not taking holidays over 2 years, maybe more.
Amazing. I know a lot of people watch these things, and real estate agents can make a lot of money, and they also can work. Jane and I have been doing this for 15 years, and the reward of doing it for such a long period of time is that we do get, people who like and trust us and call us again and again and again. But for new agents working in this business, there's a lot of churn. There's a lot of people who work really, really hard and end up spending, in some cases, their life savings to try to make a career work that it just never does work for them. And I've seen people who have also been in the business as long as we have, who still struggle. And a big part of this business is, getting to know yourself, getting to know your clients, and the reward is you do start to make more money. But the lifestyle we have, as we sort of alluded to earlier, is there are sacrifices for that, and that could mean that there are sacrifices in relationship, sacrifices in the your raising of your children. I know some agents who really focus on their children first and their real estate second, and it hurts their real estate, of course. But I also watch just how happy they are with their children and their family. My kids are 17 and 21 now, and there's times that I wish that I'd had a different career, followed different career paths or something, where it was the 9 to 5. We get paid a lot of money. There is a lot of risk.
Well, we get, okay, let's just say something though. Yeah. So when I got into real estate, we got in at exactly the same time, and we were with Pemberton Homes.
Yeah.
And I sold my first house in 2 weeks after getting in, like really getting in September. And it was funny because we got licensed in July, and I spent July and August checking my pager. Like, who was going to call me? Nobody even knew I was a realtor. I was like all ready to go. We were on a sailing trip. I'm checking my pager all the time, surreptitiously. Going to the bathroom, check my pager. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to drive myself crazy. Anyway, then I met my first client, who happened to be the director of the school that I was working at. He said he wanted to buy a house. I was like, okay. I go back home like, I don't even know how to write an offer. I write the offer. And then I thought, okay, we saw 5 properties, and I actually just counseled them through it. I said, this is the best property because of this and this and this. And so we bought the property, and it closed quickly. And I was like, thank God, because I was $10,000 in debt.
Yeah.
And my phone's ringing again. And then I sold 1 house per month, and that was just barely keeping me above water.
Yeah. And so when I say we make a lot of money, we have a lot of expenses.
We have a lot of expenses. And from January to July the next year, I sold homes, but none of them closed before July. So for 7 months, I had no income.
Yeah.
And I remember we were renovating, we were putting a suite in a house, and I was just thinking, like, I wrote an email to Mike Holmes, and I said, I don't know if I can handle this job. Like, I had more money in my bank account being a teacher making $35,000 a year than I do with this anticipated income. And then I got paid and I paid off all my debt, whatever. I was late on my tax. I got dinged on that. Like, it was awful. It's a really, really hard business to do well in.
It is. So for every successful agent, there are many. Like, I am consistently in the top 20%, generally, pretty consistently in the top 20-30% of agents in our real estate board. You're probably in the top 10% for sales, right? And it's all part of its lifestyle choice. There are agents who are, really great agents who are not doing a lot of sales. But there's also a lot of agents that try really, really hard. I've had conversations with these agents, and they just, how do you do it, Andrew? How do you, you just do your thing. You just be yourself, and you do the best you can for your clients. But
the thing is that you and I both do, I think, that is successful, is that we have the orientation, we have the grounding meeting where we, like, real estate 101, here's how you write an offer, here's what we're going to be doing, here's the process. And then when you get to an accepted offer, here's the next steps and what we're going to be doing. For me, we have systems, and I know working in the bullpen at Pemberton Homes for 8 years and listening to conversations, that there are many people who have not, in 20 or 30 years of their career, they have not systematized anything.
No, they are just reacting to business as it comes in, and business for them is a warm body, someone who is breathing and has a pulse and perhaps money, and says, I'm thinking of buying or selling a home. And then we might chase and follow up with those people for a long time, but they're not ever having those conversations of, first of all, qualifying them, and second of all, helping to orient them into a success mindset, and asking those questions and giving them that information. And, I do a lot of this stuff because I don't want people getting to the finish line only, like, when it comes time for them, they find the home that they absolutely love and they want to write an offer on, but they're not mentally or emotionally or financially prepared.
Yeah. Like, I've had people who are saying that they want to go out and look at a house, and then I'm like, you haven't even qualified financially. Like, what, you're just going to be in an emotional roller coaster when you write the offer, and then you can't get the place you want. Like, it's not going to come together last minute.
Yeah. And it's not fair to your other clients for you to be spending time with people who haven't taken the steps required that you have said, this is what's required for you to be successful. And if they don't take our advice, then they probably won't take our advice later when it comes to writing offers, or, removing conditions or not removing conditions, or whatever there is to be had. So, I think, yes, you're right. We've gotten better we're both systematized in that way, and we both really like that kind of system. And not everybody wants it. People sometimes say, just show me where to sign, tell me what to do. And I don't think that those are already our ideal clients.
No.
We want people who are invested. Yes. Are we going to talk about the stats?
What's going on with the stats this week, Andrew?
I'm so glad you asked. Well, Jane, August 2021 was a little slower for sales over last year. We had 760 sales unconditional. We're at the end of the month, so we could probably say this is a month's worth of stats, versus 979 in August of 2020.
Which was exceptional. Which was exceptional last year.
Yes. But new listings coming on market, much lower, 845 versus 1,333 in August 2020. And our active listings still, and this is a broken record, really, really low, sub 1,200 listings. Again, I think I'll have to look at the numbers, but we definitely have more agents in Victoria than we have listings to sell. So that's interesting. So how about the market? What's happened in the last week there, Jane?
Okay. Well, thank you, Andrew, for passing the ball. New listings 172 over the last week, and pending 200 So if you're interested in a property, you need to get out there and view it quickly. It's also a great time to list. Please don't think that you can list whatever you want, because there are homes that are doing price decreases. We've had 26 over the past week. So be careful and listen to your realtor. We have 278 that have just gone closed. I have 3 more closing this week. So I expect that number to really increase over the next day or two.
Yep.
And then expired or withdrawn, I know that we are expired or withdrawn 17, and I know some of those are relistings.
Yeah, I spoke to an agent. There was a property I viewed with some clients, and it was a decent property. Listed at 1.1 million, had a really nice suite down below, Glanford area, nice updates, nice yard. But they didn't receive offers on offer day. So they actually did receive offers, but they were below asking, and I guess not close enough to what they were wanting for. So the agent reduced the price. They took it off market, so they expired it. And this is one of these stats that we're talking about here, and this is an example of what might happen. Expired the listing, and then put it back up at $100,000 less, because if under $1 million, there's a lot more buyers. So they put it up at 997, I think it was, and put it out to market. And they got 4 offers apparently, but again, nothing that the seller was willing to accept. The sellers were wanting more. So once again, they expired it again. That's 2 of those stats are a property that was listed and then canceled, and listed and canceled again. And they'll be relisting it again in September. So something that's a bit of churn for the stats.
Yeah. And so that does work actually, about bringing in new viewings. Sometimes people have, because it's longer days on market, it may not show up on a priority listing, but
I do have an issue though, Jane, sorry to interrupt, but I do have an issue. This is my own personal business piece, that I don't like to see listings where there is no intention that the seller will actually accept a price at the listed price. And if they get offers above, they're still not willing to accept those offers unless they reach a certain hammer point. And I don't really feel like that's fair to the marketplace.
no.
But this is it's a strategy, and everyone is welcome and entitled to their strategy, but not one I can generally choose.
It's like working with a buyer who only wants to pay significantly less. It's very tough to find them a place, because a seller won't go down. And if a seller wants significantly more, then they're not likely to find a buyer, because that's just, we don't live in Toronto.
Yeah. Those buyers who say, well, on average, on average, it takes 10 offers to buy a house in Victoria, let's say, which is not true necessarily. But there was a time when we were hearing a lot from our colleagues saying, I've got lots of buyers, they've written 10 offers, they still haven't gotten anything. It doesn't mean if you just write 10 offers, you've got to want, 100% chance of winning. If you're always coming in low, there's always going to be somebody higher.
Yeah, I've got, I have clients who are just always looking for the deal, and they always need the psychology of the buyer is that they need the little bit of money off. And I'm like, it's the wrong market. Same thing with the psychology of the buyer is that they need to do the research and take their time and really think about it. So for those people, if we have delayed offers, I try and get them in the first day so they have the time to review. Anyway, we're at 10:34. So
we've got things to do. I've got offers to write and submit, and you've got and I've got properties to show this afternoon. I'm definitely not leaving my phone behind. So
no phone left behind. No client left behind.
Never.
All right. Well, have a very successful week, and best of luck to you on your offers and your clients. I hope it works out for you.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, we'll see how many we're competing against and what happens. But anyway, wish us luck. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks to everybody who's been watching today, and we appreciate you very much, and looking forward to seeing you guys again as we just chat away and maybe talk about something useful to you.
Yeah, sorry we didn't get to new construction. There are pros and cons. We'll talk about that next time, but next probably in 2 weeks. Next week, we're going to do our stats review. And
next week's a long weekend, right?
oh, right. Do you want to do it on Tuesday?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll just do it by myself. It's okay.
We'll talk.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy your last week of the summer, and we'll see you in September. Don't forget to subscribe. And how do we get in touch with you, Andrew?
You can reach me at 250-360-6106 or email me info@andrewplank.com.
And he has a really cool video on his website. You should go see it. My name's Jane Johnston. I'm with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. My number is 250-744-0775. I have 2 websites. One is briarhillgroup.com, which we'll talk about buying and selling homes. And then Vancouver Island Time if you want to investigate neighborhoods and entrepreneurs around the island. All right. Take care. Have a great week. Bye.
All right. Mic drop.